Greetings folks and welcome to part 4 of the Valentine's Day Dazzlor raid with Fairy Tale and the Dysfunctional Family. So first off, need to do a little chat about the rumoured, and I emphasise the word rumoured, Ranger class. These rumours have been put together from things that people have said, trolls in trade chat whom you never listen to, because quite frankly it's the greatest troll in the world just mentioning the Ranger class to a hunter because they're instantly triggered. Seriously, even me, it's like red flag. Yeah, so effectively it's not a good idea to even assume that Blizzard are actually working on it. However, when you listen to some of the things that people are saying about this potential proposed class, maybe it's something that they've an idea they had in the past and just scrapped. I don't even know whether they're actually going on with the thing, whether there's going to be an announcement about it. I know nothing about it, okay? I can explain some of the mechanics that I've heard, and again, these are rumours and hearsay, so don't put any weight or truth behind it. But basically, they'll dual wield using stance switching, and their weapons will switch when they stance switch. So they'll go from a melee stance to a ranged stance, and you know, that sounds hilariously fun. So their ability bar will change depending on what stance they're in. And there'll be 3 specs to it. That there'll be like a ranged spec that's obviously focused towards its stances are enhanced for range, and then there'll be a melee spec with stances that are enhanced for melee, and then there'll be a tank spec. Yeah, I know. This is just what I've heard, and thinking about it, you know, when you think about it like that, it's like, okay, so mechanically that could technically work. And it could be a heck of a lot of fun to play as well. But then you're left with the question, Blizz, why don't you just put that for hunters? You know, questions for later. Anyway, on with the show. So at the moment we're lining up for the left and the right hand sides, because there are, before we even get to the boss out opulence, we've got to kill these 2 ads. So I'm currently lining up on the left hand side because I've always gone left, always, and everyone else is lining up on the right hand side. We're just going to divide up the parties at the moment, so we're going to have a tank on one side, a tank on the other side, 2 healers for both sides, and then 4 DPS, I believe, 4 or 5 DPS depending, for the other side, going the other way. It should be a fairly easy fight once we're all divided up. At the moment, I'm under the mistaken belief that I'm going left because ranged go left usually, and melee go right usually. It's just a general rule of thumb, but the raid leader has other ideas for me. He's going to expose me to new things. So I was perfectly happy on the left hand side with the thunderballs, and yeah, I'm gonna go right with the guy that likes to fist people with fire. Yeah, those were innuendos, pretty obvious ones. Just go with it, it's fine. So at the moment our raid leader's just giving us some advice. Kill the ads. That's probably for the opulence fight. Grab the debuffs. Or the buffs on the way in with the gems and stuff, which I actually tried to do and then last all of about 10 seconds with it before I die. It's not good, it's really not good. Never mind. And that's the raid leader telling me you're going right, not left, and me having a little moment. Yeah, I even shook my mouse as you in a kind of, no, I don't wanna. But hey, I'm nothing if not adaptable, and probably lucky as well. There are points here where the only reason that I survived is because I have a very large hit point pool. Otherwise I would have died, like a lot. So I'm now going right with Pit, our druid. I've got Alemi, our guild master and healer, and Sundir, the other monk healer. who's actually rather good. I didn't realise until watching this back and watching the footage back that it's like, oh wow, Sundir is actually pretty freaking amazing. There's a point here where he gets targeted by a laser, and rather than panicking and just running away, he rather deliberately goes as slowly as he can and keeps the laser moving pretty darn slow, and keeping the AoE effect that it leaves on the ground sort of to a minimum. It's pretty skillful. You'll see it. I'll point it out to you, but it is pretty damn skillful what he does. So I'm keeping an eye on the walls because they open up and spit fire, and I'm doing my best to stay out of that as much as possible. As you can see, moving. Yep.
Beware.
Because obviously that really, really hurts, and it's a pain if the healers have to keep targeting you to heal. Now, I spotted that flame, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to stay behind him there. These thoughts don't always stay in my head. You've got to understand. Sometimes I'm thinking to myself, I'll just move the other way. I'll dodge it and be really cool, and then it doesn't work out.
Beware.
Which is like an epic foreshadowing for later. So rather large flame patch put out there, but I'm actually pretty good with my flame patch. I keep it to an absolute minimum as well before moving out of the room. I didn't realise I handled that with quite as much grace as I did. So DPS wise, you've got
Beware.
Big D is up at the top, the druid, or Dory. I'm calling him Big D from now on because he's got big deeps.
Beware.
Seriously big deeps. Second place is Zal. Third place is the druid. Oh no, third place is me, and then fourth place goes to the warlock. I'm guessing I'm having a kind of good point during my DPS where I'm doing a lot of crits. That's the only explanation for it.
Beware.
I am laying out some good fire. But obviously I'm still managing to occasionally pop into the top 4, so you'll see that happen every now and again. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's Sandy, and he's backpedaling a little bit, moving around, making sure he doesn't get cornered by the fire, and he's keeping that AoE to an absolute minimum. Or as small as he can get it. It's a very pretty thing when you see someone both healing at the same time as dodging an AoE attack that's targeted at them, and doing it well enough that it's not having an adverse effect on the rest of the raid. So there's me taking an enormous amount of damage and then activating a couple of cooldowns and a little shield just to soak up the last of the damage so that I didn't die, and the healers get to me with some heals. Now I grab a gem.
Beware.
And I just start smacking him. Doing some really, really nice deeps now.
Beware.
I'm up in like third. Yeah, Zol's still leaving me behind. Nice fighting with me at the moment for DPS spots. It goes wrong for me very, very shortly. Don't worry. I go left when I should have gone right, or I go right when I should have gone left. One of the two. Something happens, and basically I die. You'll see it very shortly. We're way ahead on DPS at the moment, so we've targeted the boss, and we're not shooting the boss because we've done so much freaking damage to the guy already. See, yeah, I went left, and I should have gone right. And you see what happens.
Beware.
And I get a really nice combat res, and I'm straight back up on my feet. It doesn't stop me from dropping down the damage meter, but then I've had to detarget the boss. I literally didn't have a choice there. I have to detarget the boss and not shoot the boss so that the other team can catch up. Keep in mind, Dory's on the other side. It's like, why is that thing just not dead already? Seriously. I'm guessing like he's just, I don't know, AFK, asleep, or something. I'm not sure what's going on there. I mean, he's still doing damage, and you can see it. He's pulling 17.4k of damage there.
Beware.
It's like, dude, what you doing? You can do way more than that. Seriously, I've seen him go up to like 29k of damage per second, and it's like, yeah. Anyway, we're catching back up again, and it's getting back on to a point where we can start DPSing the boss again. So we do. I am hugging his backside now because I'm like, yeah, no, screw that fire fist mechanic. I'm not getting fisted again. I pop my cooldowns because obviously they're now ahead. Because as you can tell, Dory's popped a cooldown or two because his damage has jumped up. So I've popped mine. And I'm just dropping some big hits there. Look at that. 9Ks from rapid fires on crits. 34k crit there. Very nice. And then I'm just spamming it. I'm literally just spamming Arcane Shot and then another rapid fire to finish him off. And we move into the next room for Opulence. A whole lot of fun there. So he spawns some ads that have to die. He spawns a lot of ads that have to die because if you leave the ads alone, they get to the edge of the room. He then casts an AoE that does significantly more damage based on the number of ads that are still alive. You want none alive so that it does as little damage as possible because it's still going to do damage. And you don't want to leave all of them alive because otherwise everyone's going to die very, 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 very quickly. So here's the first wave of ads, and as you can see, I'm straight into the AoEs. There is some, there is a trap down, and I throw another one in there as the first one wore out. We're still throwing out more AoE damage, doing some really nice, some really significant damage here. And then we chase the ads around, swoop around in a circle, just murdering the ads.
Beware.
Very nice 13k crit, finishes off that last ad there from an Arcane Shot. 13k from an Arcane Shot is pretty freaking good. At least for me it is anyway. So just pouring on more fire at the moment. Because this is a tank and spank. I think the druids are tank switching, so they'll I think there's a debuff that stacks up here, maybe, and they have to switch. Yep, you can see it there, they switch. Yeah, more ads. I'm totally focused on that myself in the fight at the moment. During the fight, I'm not looking at what the druids are looking at. I'm sort of looking at it now in a kind of, oh wow, look, they're actually, you know, there's some tank switching and that has to go on because of a debuff that stacks up and starts to really hurt. And yet again, it's a little slower this time, and I'm not sure why. Perhaps it's because I didn't pop my cooldowns, which I should have done.
Beware.
Either way, I get some gold on me, and I make sure that I'm away from everybody else when it drops. Although I do put it in a pretty awkward place for the rest of the raid. I'm sorry about that, guys. So yeah, Opulence is going down. He will spawn one last phase of ads, but I don't think I'm pretty sure we don't switch. And we're just told to just focus down the boss. And there I am standing in the fire again. Yeah, we focus down the boss. I'm just going to let this play because this is beautiful.
Something so glorious. It's true what Sylvanas says. You Alliance goons ain't got no souls.
Yeah, I fully agree, Gallywix. Alliance players don't got no souls. But with that, have fun, play safe, and I will catch you guys later for episode 5.